Okay, this is going to be a real quick review for uh, Doubles by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I finished this earlier today. And, well, what's the book really about? We'll just talk about that real quick. I'm not going to drag this out. This book is set in Russia in the 1860s. And it's another book very similar to Crime and Punishment that is kind of dealing with it's Dostoevsky shedding light or what he sees as the problem with nihilism, the ideals, the nihilistic, the Russian nihilist that were prevalent at this time. And you call it's a reactionary work. Okay, whatever. It is his response to novels that are coming out, such as Fathers and Sons. There's a really nice introduction in this particular copy that's put out by Oxford World Classics. This is the Michael Arquette translation, and it was a very good read. It's got a lot of characters in it, and that's one of the things it's going to be difficult to keep track of. Is all the characters, but this particular version here has a nice character list in the front. Okay, that will help you. You'll be flipping back and forth to this a lot, but our main ones are Stefan. I'm not even going to try to say his whole name. I'll butcher it. Stefan Trifomovich Verkanovsky. And he's pretty much a once prominent liberal. That's his son's name is Pyotr, okay, or Peter, and Peter is like one of these Russian nihilists, okay, and there's like this whole past and future, the old generation and young generation. The young generation is much more radical, much more revolutionary. And yeah, that's what this novel is dealing with. It's essentially a group of five, a secret group that is kind of gathered around this Piotr or Peter. He's kind of like the leader of the group. And the various perspectives of all of these characters and their mindsets. Now, that's just really short. I'm not going to go into a deep discussion on this novel because lots of people have already done that, and there's really not a whole lot for me to add to that discussion other than my perspective as an Orthodox Christian, because Dostoevsky was Orthodox. And it's this whole idea of the demons. Now, there's an epigraph in here. So what are the demons, right? Are they the people? Because I've watched some people say, well, the demons are the people. It's obviously these people in the group are demonic, and that's wrong. I mean, it's the epigraph in here is from Luke, the Gospel according to St. Luke. There's also I don't know what this is, like a poem or something from Pushkin, but this is from Luke 8, verses 32 through 35. It says, "And there was there a herd of many swine feeding on the mountain, and they besought him," Jesus, right, "that he would suffer or permit them to enter into them. And he permitted them. Then when the devils went out of the man and entered into the swine, and the herd ran violently down a steep place into the lake and were choked. When they that fed them saw what was done, they fled and went and told it to the city and in the country. Then they went out to see what was done, and came to Jesus, and found the man, out of whom the devils were departed, sitting at the feet of Jesus, clothed and in his right mind, and they were afraid." So the general, that's kind of giving an insight to what it is. The demons are these Western ideals that are coming out of Europe. Things like socialism, um, Darwinism, um, you name it. Like the ideals of the Bavarian Illuminati, the French, the writings of the French, especially, you know, people like Voltaire and whatnot. And yeah, I already kind of discussed this briefly in my review for Crime and Punishment, but we're dealing with the same material, and this is considered, I think, by most people to be Dostoevsky's most political novel. So it's a very relevant novel considering what's going on today, and at the time this novel was considered prophetic. Now, as far as the ideas, okay, the revolutionary ideas and whatnot, if you think about the Orthodox teaching, okay, the Eastern Orthodox Church, right, there is a thought, the thought concerning demons, okay, because that's what we're talking about here, is that there's actually a Greek word for it. They're called logismi or logismoi. They are the demonic thoughts that enter into a person's mind. Now, modern psychology would say that all the thoughts that we have are coming from ourselves, from like our subconscious and whatnot. You know, the whole thing about the ego and the id, and all that Freudian psychology. But the saints of the Orthodox Church, the patristic teaching is that these thoughts, these logismoi, these ideas that enter into our head. For instance, let me give you an example. You have ideas that are like, hey, that sunset's beautiful. That's a good thought. It's good. It's pure. You have thoughts that are completely neutral, you know, like they're not good or bad. Something like, you know, I like what color shirt you're gonna wear today to work or whatever. You know what I mean? Like there's that thought's kind of just benign. And then there's thoughts that come to us from the demons. These are called the logismi or the logismoi. And they never present themselves as a foreign thought. In other words, you have to be trained to recognize them. And the idea is like, for instance, you would meet somebody for the first time. You see this person, never met them before in your life, and you think to yourself, I really hate that person. You have no reason to hate them. Why would you hate them? You know? And then another thought comes in, you know, they really look stupid. Again, it presents itself as I. And the thing of it is that these logismoi, these thoughts that come from the devils, they want you to think that they are your thoughts. And what the fathers of the church teach is that you should reject these thoughts and immediately, you know, say the Jesus prayer, Lord Jesus Christ, have mercy on me. You know, or make the sign of the cross. You know, it's, and people say that's very superstitious. You know, people in this modern era would say that's superstitious, that's ridiculous. You know, that's like witch doctor stuff. You know, these people that believe in this are nonsense. Like science tells us that these thoughts, you know, modern psychology tells us that those are your own subconscious thoughts anyways. Well, Dostoevsky didn't believe that. That's really all I have to add to this discussion is the whole Orthodox teaching on the logismi, the thoughts themselves, these revolutionary ideas and these ideals coming into Russia. He sees them as the demons entering into the swine. These European ideals, okay, they are the demons that are entering into Russia. And just like the pigs run off the cliff and get destroyed, that these ideals are going to lead to Russia's destruction. So you can agree with that or disagree with that, but I'm just telling you that's pretty much the synopsis or the main idea of the novel that he's getting at. And this was in the 1860s, so this is like basically 50 years before the Bolshevik Revolution, the assassination of Tsar Nicholas II and the royal family and whatnot. So, all right, that's it. That's really all I have to say about it. Now you know what the book is about, and I think it's a fine. I think it's a great novel. I think it's really good. Now it's slow getting going. It's divided into 3 sections. My suggestion is used to get a little index card, okay, and write down the characters' names. Or if you have this copy, you can flip to the character list in the front. But you're going to need a character list because it's really complicated to keep track of everybody in this. Anyways, thank you for watching. God bless. Christ is risen. Have a wonderful day.